Alright, guys. Uh-oh.
Oh,
there we go. Nope. I got the right one. I got the mic. They probably heard me talking the entire time. Oh! Oh no! I was talking during the opening. Hold on.
I think the stream's always offline anyway. Unless you started it up already.
But no, I had this stream card going. Give me 1 sec. Hold on. Oh my god. Okay, guys. Yeah, no, I had a boomer moment. Okay. Hey, guys. Okay. Let me kill that. Yeah, no, just like I said, we're okay. So everybody's on, the audio's working. Yay, I didn't fuck it up this time. Yay me. So we're back with another stream. We're just gonna keep it chilled. I do not know who's gonna come in and out tonight. I really don't. I put the invite out, so
Alright.
but so how are you guys doing?
I'm pretty chill.
I just found out I had a 3-day weekend, so I'm happy.
Dude, I have a 5-day weekend.
Fuck yeah, dude!
Oh, because of Memorial Day.
Yeah. How's everybody's week been? Like, y'all doing anything crazy?
Yeah, well, finals are coming up, so that's fun. Other than that,
college?
Yeah, my nephew he graduated yesterday. So.
Oh, congrats! Was he college or was he high school senior?
Senior in high school.
Aw. Yeah, whose daughter just also graduated? Your boy Pat. So his girl just got out of high school too. So.
Nice.
I haven't been in high school for 10 to 11 years now, so it's just like I feel old. I feel so old. It is graduation season coming up, or near time.
I'm gonna rejoin the stream on my phone. I'll be in the hallway.
Okay.
See, secondary school was about 7 years ago.
Oh, you got out 7 years ago?
Oh, well, you're supposed to leave when you're 16, but I kind of left early.
Well, is it different in the UK? Hold on, Dr. Woodshed.
Yeah, you can stay. You can stay in.
There you go.
You can stay in secondary school until you're 18, but that's optional. It's until you're 16, and then most teenagers, what they would do is they would get a job and go to college. Yeah, well, and then from there they go to university.
Well, you guys don't have like the grade system like we have here, K through 12. Like we have kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade. You get the idea.
Yeah, we just have primary school, secondary school, and then you either get a job or go to college or both. Basically, when you're 16, you're pretty much an adult at that point.
That is so weird. Cause
that is such a weird concept to me.
Yeah, it is. Because like a lot of the kids. Go ahead.
Teenagers are allowed to do pretty much anything an adult's allowed to do when they're 16, except buy alcohol and cigarettes. But they can have alcohol and cigarettes.
What the fuck?
Of course.
The UK's fucking weird, dude.
I can make a comment here, but I'm gonna bite my tongue.
And men like Sargon want to take that shit away from the kids.
No. Well, they want the kids less educated, so they believe him more, right?
The stuff with Sargon is just nutty because was it UKIP? UKIP was trying to get rid of what's it? Nigel Farage. We're not going to get into politics, but Nigel Farage, I think, pretty much quit UKIP from like the snippets I've seen. He goes, "This is a joke. Goodbye. Have fun."
He didn't want UKIP to become an activist party.
The extremists.
So, yeah, I just people don't know how to relax anymore. It's just, oh, you idiot. Who are you hanging out with?
Huh?
Oh, my husband's texting me.
Huh? Tell him to go away, you're streaming. Get the fuck out of my room, I'm playing Minecraft.
Yeah, no, he was supposed to call me when he shut down. So, I don't know if he's gonna pop on. I'm gonna laugh if they... No. Who's... Okay, yeah, no, that is the right person I was thinking of. But anyway, sorry, freaking... My husband has impeccable timing with stuff. Let's see. Gosh, this is so weird. But, what... Because I'm trying to think. What have you guys been up to? Like, anything channel related? Just anything at all?
Just hanging out.
I'm preparing for finals this week. Oh boy.
Well, you said that. What are your finals in? I think I only had... Go ahead.
I have a biology final, Spanish final, math final. I think geography.
Geography?
Yeah, geography, world history.
Why would... that sucks.
Oh! That's not sad. I love geography.
Wait, how old did you say you were?
15.
Oh, I did not know that. Usually I have a no minor rule on my channel, or stream. I will make an exception this once, but just like, because we usually get into some... Anyway.
No, don't worry about it.
Because I'm like, wait, when you said finals, I thought you were a senior, so it's just like, wait, okay.
Yeah, they all take finals every year. Every grade does.
Not the high school system I came from. The finals was the seniors. Only the seniors had finals, and possibly some of the junior classes.
I think every grade level in my high school has final exams, so that's great.
But that makes no sense. Why? I guess each state is different. When I went to high school, we had to take this huge, and we had to pass. There's 2 sections that were required to pass, and there's a 3rd section they were playing with before the state governor completely stripped the test away, taking away that 3rd score, which kind of pissed me off. But I had to pass a big state final test on top of passing high school, on top of creating a... what is that folder called where you're supposed to gather up all your high school work?
Portfolio?
Yes, that freaking dumb thing that changed. The requirements changed no matter what high school you went to. One, you had to do something called a job shadow. Well, that didn't happen because I moved. And then the next high school I went to, they really didn't have a formula to it. They just had like, well, this goes in your portfolio, this goes in your portfolio. And they wanted me to call a prior high school to get work from them. I'm like, I still have this stupid thing. And it's just, you don't show it to jobs. It is freaking pointless. It is worthless. And the only thing that you will need to know how to do a portfolio for is if you're some sort of a designer and you need samples of your work, that's it. Otherwise, I had to do so much crap in high school. Too many graduation requirements. And I had good grades, mind you. I was at a GPA of 3.43. Almost 0.07 off from silver, getting a silver tassel, or was it? No, it was a gold one. because it was 3.5 and up that got the gold. So I was like, I was not a bad student, but the extra shit was not needed. I'm streaming now.
Now you have to do a fuck ton of community service hours.
Oh, didn't have to do that mess.
Yeah. When I was in high school, I think I had to do like 200 community service hours.
You had to do what now?
Like 200 community service hours to graduate, the portfolio thing. Ugh. A bunch of just pointless stuff on top of passing the SAT and all that.
Wait, they required you to pass those? I hated those things because, like, depending on the high school I went to, I think I've only taken the SAT.
Oh yeah, and on top of the SAT, Arizona students also have to pass AIMS.
See, I understand. Here's the thing. There's a lot of pointless stuff in high school. A good chunk of the stuff I learned in high school, I do not use now. It does not apply to my adult life. It does not apply to my job. It doesn't even apply to my freaking home life. So I love the excuse that they use, like when it comes to teaching you calculus, and I'm not saying math is a good thing to learn, but a lot of it you don't use unless you're going to pursue career mathematics or chemistry or, say, for example, programming, because you need to know a certain level of mathematics, whether to program games, coding, anything of that nature. So unless you're pursuing that route, there's no point of learning that stuff. Chemistry. I will say there is basic chemistry that you learn that not to mix certain chemicals, learning about not putting hot liquids, or rather a cold liquid into a hot container, particularly glass. I mean, that's something you can apply to the household. That's how you break your coffee pot much quicker. Freaking what else? You obviously don't mix cleaning chemicals, throwing a little bit of mechanical stuff in there, like basic care of a car.
That's the recipe for mustard gas.
Huh?
So that's the recipe for mustard gas.
Well, depending on the chemical and depending on what it does and the side effects and all that. But yeah, just throwing basic car care around junior, senior year. Hey, a lot of you are going to be learning how to drive. A lot of you are going to be learning how to take care of your car, what's needed to take care of your car, what chemicals you need for your car, whether that be antifreeze, because there's different colors of antifreeze depending on what type of engine you have. There's how to treat your gas if your car is running funny, if you smell like rotten egg smell coming from your vents or whatever, that's either the carburetor or you have bad gas in your tank. I mean, certain stuff like this. I didn't learn this stuff. I had to look all the stuff up on my own and ask around. It just stuff like that. When I look back, it's like high school for the most part, a bunch of that junk was just useless. Just freaking useless. They don't teach you how to balance a checkbook. Freaking, even the trade school I went to. Granted, I went to a trade school at the age of 21. I already knew how to do my taxes, already knew about job fairs, already knew how to put a resume together, a basic resume. Because there are different formats depending on the job you want to get. And again, some of those jobs do require a certain type of portfolio. But went to trade school. We had all of our taxes. A bunch of people got their W-2s. A bunch of people started screaming thinking they were going to get all this money back. And I'm going like, what are you guys screaming about? They're like, well, we're going to get all this money back. No. You guys have no idea what the hell this shit is. A lot of teenagers get their first jobs about 16 to 17 years old. That's the perfect time to start teaching them about W-2 documentation, about doing their own taxes, what to look out for, what not to do with the IRS. You know, I mean, yeah, parents teach a lot of that stuff, but I don't know, useful stuff, useful to society.
Stuff, yeah. But listen, the mitochondria, right?
The what?
Important shit right there. The mitochondria of the cell, all right? Very important shit. Way more important.
I don't even know what the hell you just said. Wait.
Oof.
The mitochondria? Is that what you just said?
The mitochondria.
The mitochondria.
Yes.
What is that?
The powerhouse of the... Oh my
The
gosh.
spell. Yes.
This is only proving my point that we would learn so much useless shit.
Do you have like a spelling so I can look this up? How the hell do you even spell this?
I'll put it in the main hall.
Okay. Because, like, I have...
There we go. Put it in the main hall.
Let's see. The mitochondrion is a double... Like, how do you spell this shit? Or pronounce it?
Mitochondrion.
Mitochondrion. Okay. For me, I need to see the spelling and hear the pronunciation to get it. So the mitochondrion is a double membrane-bound organelle found in most
eukaryotic.
Some cells and some multicellular organisms however, lack them.
It's basically like the powerhouse of the cell. Keeps everything going.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't this be something you learn if you were like pursuing microbiology
I learned this in 9th grade biology.
I didn't. I had weird biology.
No, I understand. I'm not calling you dumb. I'm just saying it's just. I personally think it's funny.
What is the point? Like, okay, my biology class or my science classes were electric science, which was kinetic energy, potential energy, a little bit of aerodynamics, and then learning about the ecosystem, the greenhouse effect, photosynthesis, overpopulation, population control. Those are things I learned about in high school. I didn't learn about the cellular stuff. Oh my god.
Well, yeah, look. Man, things have changed a lot, apparently.
Well, it just... I guess. I mean, what are they trying to create? A bunch of little scientists? And I understand, yes, it's interesting to learn certain stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
But requiring students to pass with a certain knowledge that they're going to forget over the summer, because that's something that a lot of teachers kind of freaked out on. It's like, oh, well, they're going to forget all this. Well, no shit. It's the summertime. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to think about school. Like, I love it. I had to get yanked out of one of my advanced classes because I went from one high school to another one, and I was in an advanced English class. So when I came to this school, this new high school, I got stuck in, for some reason, advanced history class. And it was kind of weird. I'm going like, I don't even know why I'm in here.
Love history.
Well, no, it wasn't that, but apparently everybody had a book assignment over the summer, and he was asking about it. I'm like, I have no idea what the hell you're talking about. What book assignment? And I'm like, I didn't do anything over the summer schoolwork-wise, and I wasn't going to. I'm so confused. I don't know why they stuck me in here. They moved me out of it, but it's just like, if you have a class that requires you to do work over the summer, get the fuck out of it. I mean,
again, it depends on like how passionate you want to be prepared for a certain subject.
Well, that, and if you wanted to go to college right away, the only purpose for advanced classes, because depending on the school system, depending on the advanced class system, you can earn, if this is your goal to go from high school to college right away, you can earn college credits. I believe they let you start junior year. Some schools wait until senior. But you can already start building credits, college credits, towards basic general education classes, because a lot of colleges require that. But something to keep in mind too, when it comes to credit transferring, because I only completed 1 quarter of college, and I had this issue. I was calling around trying to figure out how these stupid college credits will transfer from one college to the next. Not every college has the same fucking credit system. For some colleges, 1 credit could equal 2 credits. For other colleges, it equals maybe a quarter or half. I swear to God, our school system is so checked up.
Leo's in the hallway.
Leo! Hold on, Leo. Hold on, let me unmute you. Oh, whoop. Hold on. Okay, wrong button. There you go, Leo.
It's a little interesting seeing the mindset.
Pretty
going alright.
How are you?
Are you pushed to talk, Leo? Because you just got muted again, and I did not mute you.
I am.
Okay.
I always push the doctor.
Okay. Nope. Just making sure that wasn't Discord being a potato. So.
If all else fails, I blame Steph.
Of course.
Oh, thanks, man.
So how are
It's
you
all
doing,
interesting
Leo?
Leo, we're
mindset.
talking about the U.S. education system.
Oh, go ahead.
Care to
Oh,
Hold
I
on.
didn't know we were talking about garbage.
I know.
Hold on. Miss Steam was gonna say something. What were you gonna say, Miss Steam?
No. I was just saying it's very interesting seeing the mindset of people in America of the education system, because here it's kind of like teenagers don't have time to like party. Like even over the summer, teenagers are constantly just cramming in a shit ton of stuff because, well, they keep getting told like, oh well, GCSEs are everything. GCSEs are everything. You'll never get anything if you don't get GCSEs, which is not true. A lot of secondary school kids actually end up studying all the time. Like, you know, the stereotypes of like, oh, all teenagers do is smoke, drink, and party. Yeah, no, teenagers don't have fucking time for that shit. The way our school's set up is pretty much you're working 24/7 if you're not sleeping, eating, and shitting. And then when you hit college is actually way more relaxing than secondary school, because in college you just have to focus on the major stuff, not so much the little stuff. Well, you can focus on little stuff, but focus on the main stuff. So,
damn.
Interesting. It's like I'm hearing this. Extra credits, man. I can't believe you have to work over summer, and it's like, well, secondary school. I remember in secondary school they gave you so much work to do over the summer. You actually didn't have time to just relax.
But that's some. See, go ahead.
All I know is I live in Texas, and I would just be happy if the school system could put out people that know how to read and write. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking.
Is it that bad over there? I mean,
It's worse. It's much worse, especially when you deal with a lot of higher tier schools that are more interested in sports scholarships or anything else. They will intentionally fudge numbers to make sure that some guy can play and kick a ball.
I heard
Instead of
this.
It's rampant.
I heard this before, and I don't know the validity of it. But wasn't the main purpose of the U.S. education system for the military?
No, it's for factory worker.
did not know that. Explains all the useless crap that they try to teach you that really doesn't. You forget all of it.
It's all repetition. That's part of the issue. It's all repetition, and the teachers aren't there to instill a desire to learn anything. They're there to teach you a set amount of things so you can go out into the world and be in the workforce. And you know, back in the 1920s, that was actually a really good thing because of a lot of pioneering that happened at the time, and the kids had time to do stuff. But now it's become, well, for lack of a better word, almost a worship center, to where we worship the very concept of school itself, and we put everything revolving it on pedal, including things that will lead into jobs and whatnot. Like how hyped do we have the college system? Extremely so, even now. But we have people who have graduated college, have degrees, and they work at McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
Just to pay off their debts, which
they can't even do because the government started giving out grants, and colleges saw, oh, the government's doing this, let's hike up the prices.
so stupid.
Well, something.
What you were saying
Go
about
ahead.
that,
I mean,
what you were saying about the whole basically practically worshiping the education system. My own mother, she has been pushing my entire life, go to college, go to college, go to college. She also used to be an 8th grade physical science teacher. Of all things, I have actually read some of the college books at the local college. None of this is usable. I can't do anything with any of this. Heck, even the stuff I learned in high school, the most complex thing I ever used from what I learned in high school was basic geometry. Other than that, I actually taught myself how to, through a bunch of YouTube videos, how to make a rudimentary ballistics chart to figure out how far at 2,350 feet per second, a starting muzzle velocity and known drag coefficient, how far the 7.5 millimeter 174 grain round would go. But I haven't used anything. But I didn't learn that in high school.
Well, let me put this a little more in perspective. If you wanted to get if you wanted to understand how to animate, and go to a go to a school for it. Like here in Houston, there's a Houston Academy of the Arts. One semester of animation for that is $30,000. Your standard house come for your middle class American is about $40,000 to $45,000 a year. So for one semester, it's $30,000. It is out of control, and part of the problem is they're not adjusting to meet demands of the modern age. A lot of stuff that used to be taught in classrooms, you can literally, like you did, just go and find on your own. And instead of adjusting that and maybe refocusing their model, instead they just hike up the prices more because they don't want to change.
Okay. Of all of what you said, what really stuck in my mind was the price. I make before taxes, my gross income is $32,000 a year. With no taxes, I realistically can't even afford tuition.
Correct. That's why they want you to go in debt for it.
Yep.
This is unsustainable.
So I didn't go to university. I just went to college instead.
Well,
The only thing I've ever done on a
That's
college campus is deliver milk or deliver coffee, and I'm okay with both.
I remember people told me like, "Oh, you're an idiot. Oh, you're only going to college, but you're not going to university. Oh, you're an idiot." Yeah, well, joke's on them. They're in debt. I'm not.
yeah, that
Yeah,
was.
let's look at more manual labor stuff, like things that go to a vocational school, like ACH repair and stuff like that. These people spend a tiny little fraction, like barely even 1% of what these other people spend to go to school for 4 years. They get a vocation, they get licensing, and they're not in debt, and they make a lot more than your typical college graduate, at least unless they're going into something like the field of medicine or whatnot, in which case a doctor makes quite a bit of money. But an ACH
That's
repair
why-
guy, AC repair guy,
Yeah, that's
makes
why I went
sometimes
to-
The problem with the government is that it spends $10 billion a day, so all that money is going down the drain in like a day.
Just to drive the
England,
point
right?
home that you just made, you can go to school for 2 years at a tech school, go straight to the FAA, get your airframe and power plant ratings, immediately go work for 3 or 4 months at some real crappy job, and then go straight to Delta. They'll sign you on immediately. They're hurting this bad for people who can actually do the job. Sign on immediately. Healthcare, 401k, all the shebang, $86,000 a year.
Are you talking about Delta as in the airline?
Yes.
Delta shit, man.
No kidding.
Why do you think they're hurting?
No, they just, I don't.
They're part of the.
Go ahead.
Most of the reason why they're hurting is we've been pushing so hard this go to college crap that every single airline, anybody who owns an air, even the crop dusters are hurting. They're practically all begging for anyone who can work on anything.
Well, you want to know. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Well,
The crop dusters, those guys are getting sued and fined and everything like mad because they're hurting so bad that they're. Remember, this is it takes, you have to really push a man to his very limitations for him to even think of this. They're getting busted left, right, and center for working on their own airplanes because they can't get anyone to do anything.
Yeah, here's the thing
Real
with
quick, how long?
with
yeah,
college. With
I
college.
just want to know how long this stream's gonna go.
Oh, until 10. I usually do 2 hours. If it dies a little bit sooner than that, then I pull the plug. What makes you ask?
And what time is it where you are right now?
It is 8:29 p.m. Central. I'm in Central.
Sounds fine by me too.
I'm gonna hop off for a minute. I got some stuff to do at home, and then I'll hop on the computer where my signal isn't garbage.
Okay, no,
Alright.
that's fine. But with
Alright,
college, there's such a push right now because if you notice the college institutions, there's a lot of actual indoctrination. They've been tossing out certain pieces of literature because it doesn't follow the progressive stuff anymore. There's certain things that they don't want to teach anymore because it's considered white supremacy. I mean, there's a lot of bullshit going on right now, and a lot of the younger generations, millennials that are going through college, are coming out dumber than a bag of bricks. They're coming out fucking stupid and mentally unstable. There's a reason why there's a push for it.
The majority of millennials that come out as like SJW communists. It's actually to do with indoctrination through growing up, like either a family or a high school they went through, not exactly college itself.
Well, you would have to look at what's going on in the colleges here. I've been paying attention to that sort of scene for the past 2 to 3 years. Our colleges have become safe spaces. give you an example. During
I'm not saying they're not. I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying the majority of millennials get their ideas actually from their parents than they do the actual college.
I would have to disagree. I mean, just look what happened with our freaking 2016 election. Look what happened with the colleges when Trump won and Hillary lost. I mean, they canceled a lot of classes that day and gave everyone hot cocoa. It's like, are you guys like teaching actual adults, or are you guys like babysitting kindergarten?
I know. Look, guys.
What the fuck are you doing?
Fascism's on the rise, guys. To calm down, we've gotten you all some hot chocolate. All classes are canceled today.
I wish my college gave me hot cocoa every
colleges,
time an election went past. Like, Jesus.
Colleges have safe rooms. 2 years
ago. If anything, I've been drinking hot chocolate to celebrate Trump winning the fucking election.
I have a nice coffee person myself. But no, colleges now have safe rooms. It was reported that one college had a room full of puppy pictures on the wall, Play-Doh, and it's just like, that's for 5-year-olds. That's to calm down a kindergartner.
Yeah, but Play-Doh's fun.
It stinks.
I know colleges have safe rooms. I destroyed one.
It stinks.
Fuck you. Play-Doh's fun.
Well, fuck you. I'd rather...
I'd rather study for that test instead of Play-Doh.
No, but
no, we write the equations in the Play-Doh.
Been pushing the fact of like, if you go to community college, then you're a loser. If you only went to community college, you're a loser. Here's the thing, though: going to community college is actually smarter than going to university.
I'd rather go to a community.
Colleges and like colleges and universities, or as you call it, community college and then a college. The reason why I went to a college and not a university is because, well, I didn't want to get in debt. Yeah. And guess what? I'm more qualified to do a number of things than the people who went to university and is only qualified for one thing. I'm qualified for five different job opportunities.
Shit.
They're qualified for like one thing because they were doing it for 4 years straight while I just bounced around.
Yeah, see, that's the problem.
Things.
Good for you.
You never want to go after just one thing. Like, no matter how confident you are that you will get that position, always go for bare minimum 2, I feel.
That is true, and also something, too, to keep you on your toes. When you are talking with that admissions counselor, because this is true, they do get paid more to push certain trades or certain careers or college degrees. It does not matter if there's an actual job market for said degree or certification, they will be paid more. So what was advised to me when I was going through this entire process is to look at if there's an actual market for your wanted degree or career. I can tell you right now off the top of my head that there is, I think, a market still for doctors, nurses, those are college degrees. But I think there's like more of what Leo was saying, more of the trade stuff, which you go through a trade school for that or an internship or something of that nature. But you do want to be careful because if you talk to an admission counselor and they are pushing you towards a particular trade, you might want to ask yourself why. So beware of that because they get paid to do that bullshit.
I don't know.
Let's see.
Did someone ask me a question, by the way? I kind of...
No, I know Leo said he's going to come back once he gets home.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Don't put the idea of an internship on the back burner kind of thing.
Make sure it's a paid internship.
Yes.
A tremendous number of opportunities. Like, I have a handful of certifications, including repairing industrial oxygen regulators for welding and other things. Just because I took a few days and did an internship, and I took all the stuff I learned from my previous job over to that.
Yeah. I mean, I know right now I'm limited because my particular area, because my state is freaking stupid with money and broke, and we have a bunch of stupid people in power at the moment, so not going to college here, ever. But it's just, like I said, if you can pursue college, do so, but do so intelligently, if that's even a word. Do so with intelligence. Don't just go into it because somebody's pushing you. College is not for everybody. So...
Yeah. And also, if I talk about internships, never do a free internship.
Oh, yeah. No, don't.
People never do a free internship. You are opening yourself up to being abused, used, and they will fire you. Like, when they will fire you before your contract's up, so they don't have to offer you an actual job.
Exactly.
Internship, because there's actual risk if they fire you.
Yeah, there's unemployment and all that other bullshit. Something too, because was it? I think I heard a little bit something in regards to internships when it comes to anything media related, especially if like animation, graphic design, some of that nature. Is it true with internships of those nature that the company gets to keep the work, or anything that the intern doesn't really have rights to? I thought I've heard whispers about that.
The company gets to keep the rights so that the worker does. Basically, if you are a free intern, you worker rights. You basically you have a bare minimum of worker rights. Hell, you're not even required a lunch, like a single break. Like, they can work you for 10 hours in a free internship, and it's perfectly legal.
That's true. When I did security at a theme park, my God, like, their interns was like, yeah, what was I thinking getting into this type of business?
Same thing if you're
Well, that's the thing.
a 1099 private contractor. My first job, 50 hours a week, 10 hours a day, kind of thing. Holy crap. You think you're going to get a few minutes of lunch? Nope. Somebody comes in. Congratulations, your lunch is now over.
See, there's this YouTuber called A Bit of Frank, and she actually explains it very well in her animation industry video, where it's like, you never get a free internship because people have this false idea that, oh, if I get a free internship, that means I'm willing to work. And it's like, yes, willing to work for free and exploitable. And then as soon as your contract's nearly up, they'll kick you out, only to call you back later on, and this has happened to me multiple times, and go like, hey, we have a thing open, but you have to go through a free internship again.
Yeah, it's like, nope, bye.
Cycle.
As in the words of Empty Brook, fuck you, pay me. Like, I need to go find the little animation, that little video, because she did a little animation video, because she's talked about this multiple times. For those of you who do not know who Empty Brook, well, she's Empty Brook on Twitter, but she is known as Ponder Sprocket on YouTube. She does small animations.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like, her philosophy, fuck you, pay me. Do not take any offers. Like, if you do not get paid for your work, tell them to fuck off.
Unless you agree to volunteer.
Well, I got that video. I posted that video today.
Where is it at? Because I've seen that one. Now I want to find it.
I get it. I was responding to Dankula because Jacob, Logan, Paul, one of the Paul brothers wanted free work.
Jesus Christ, are we still talking about these fucking people?
No, she just it was a.
I'll put it in main hall.
All right, I was gonna say.
Will fucking work. There you go.
I'll never understand why people will focus on stuff like the Paul brothers. They're
I put it in main
idiots.
Hall. Okay.
KK clicks.
So we're gonna flip over to watch this real quick. Ponder, if you were watching, please do not strike me. I don't think she will.
No, she's cool.
Yeah. Oh no. I like her stuff. Why is my TV? Oh, can I have my TV, please? Thank you. Okay, so let me see if I can make this bigger. Yoink. Okay, so hopefully that shows up nicely. because my screen's a little bit weird. Okay, so we're gonna play this video. If it's a little off, I do apologize. But yes, so this is by Ponder Sprocket, and I will actually link her stuff in a pinned comment later or in the description. But yeah, she's a good artist to check out, and she has a lot of good advice about commissions. She does a lot of them.
Okay, let's test what you've all learned so far. Ready, class?
Big.
All together now. Can you draw me for free?
Fuck you, pay me.
I have a comic idea that can benefit us both.
Fuck you, pay me.
Can you make an OC for me?
Fuck you, pay me.
I can give you great exposure to my 900 followers.
Fuck you, pay me.
I'm sorry to inform you that unless you provide me with the necessary funds to complete this transaction, I cannot comply with your request.
Very good. Remember, you can still deny any commission that comes your way, but either way, getting paid for your work helps you fund your own projects down the line. Also, Caden, get out of my class.
Fuck you, I could be a pretty artist too.
Okay, so that was Ponder Sprocket, but yeah, pretty much. Oh my god, I love your stuff.
I can see why.
I clipped that bit of video because it's the perfect response to every, oh, I'll pay you an exposure I have.
Yeah, I need to find, because was it the link to her actual animation to show it. So, but yeah, no, that's oh my god, pretty much anything you do get paid. It's one thing if you volunteer, but yeah, like internships, because you'll be able to fund your own stuff down the line. You'll be able to work on your own projects. And also something to note too is with payment does come exposure, because you can say, yes, this is requested, this was bought and paid for, here's what the customer bought, they were pleased, here's what they said about it. It's almost like writing a review on an actual product. So that is also very important. But yeah, like I said, she does a lot of good stuff. She has 2 comics going. For the life of me, I can't remember either name of them, but one has to do with a little octopus. Her little avatar has like a little octopus, and he's his own little personality. And then she has another one where it's like this little yellow alien thing, and a robot like wanders into his home one day. This weird looking ass robot. So, but yeah, like I said, I'll put her stuff in the description later to show her stuff, since we showed off one of her videos. But yeah, that's also partly by. I don't know. Ichabod's asking if it's also by Chaos 55T. Was this co-produced?
She did help with a bit of the animation, but it is mostly Ponder Sprocket. She also did the commentary in her video, so.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I know Ponder works with 2 people. She works with multiple people when she does projects. But yeah. Oh, let's see. I don't know when Leah's supposed to get back.
Just to let y'all know, the only reason I keep muting myself is I moved a bunch of stuff out of a gun locker, and I'm gonna just move the locker, and I'm now gonna load it back up. So, why did I even say that?
You're fine.
Oh yeah, and I also saw Trisha Paytas's Chicken Parmesan and Heartbreak, and I couldn't help but Photoshop a certain scene.
I don't even know what that is. Like, I'm so confused. What is that?
It's Trish Paytas is a horrible person.
That weird ass shit. Yeah, I don't want my channel struck, so, cause I don't know. See, YouTube's striking bot is not consistent. That may be tame.
Put a shark mouth by the fucking.
That may be tame on one channel, but then it may get struck on another channel. So I don't know what channel I am. But yeah, it's.
That is what?
That is cancer.
I put Little Shop of Horrors plant. I put his mouth on there.
Oh god, you have a sense of humor, Steam.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely not showing that on my channel. I'm sorry, that's not happening. That's not happening.
I was just saying, I'm very proud of that Photoshop.
Oh, you got rid of it. I posted it in the live chat, so, but yeah. You guys look at it at your own horror and dismay. No, what was it? Freaking... No, I came across a tweet, and people are thinking she's a troll account because I responded to 2 of her tweets, and I just... women like this are just like, grr, it's like you need spoiled little brat. Anyway, she was talking about
I kind of thought she was...
Go ahead. You know which one I'm talking about.
She kind of... I thought she was kind of a spoiled little brat, and then I saw the controversy she did where she ghosted this poor guy. He flew out to LA all on his own, and basically had done all these plans to have this meeting, so he would be in a safe place and, they could do the collab and all that stuff. Ghosted him, and then she acted like he was a crazy stalker, even though you can see in the messages that they were constantly DMing each other.
I think I heard this story before. It sounds so familiar to me.
Yeah, it's a big drama at the moment, but
wait,
that fucked up because he was supposed to go home, but instead he actually spent a couple days in LA all by himself, even though he never went to LA before.
So wait, no, the same shrew that was bitching about the freaking wedding ring, something that, by the way, is a symbol and not necessarily the core of your marriage, and also the size of a man's package, is the same freaking shrew that ghosted a guy for whatever reason because she wanted to. This is the same little, yeah.
Yeah, and she tried to paint him as this creepy fan stalker who wouldn't stop DMing her, and she never replied, even though she did reply and made dates on when to pick him up, and even you can also stay in my house for a couple of days. And then when he went to LA, he was stuck in LA for 3 days, all by himself.
So where are these text messages at? Like, are they on her Twitter?
They're on. I know she addressed them, but they were on the guy's Twitter and video. I can't remember his name though. I think his name was something.
Oh no! Oh wow, she is okay. No, okay, I remember this. Let me just flip over to my TV screen here. Okay, so you guys remember this chick, right? This has got to be a Poe account. Cause you guys remember that video? Cause Suit Yourself covered it, and I think someone else covered it. How a girl came on YouTube and yeah, no, she thinks this is real. This bimbo thinks that. Oh my god.
This was a long time ago.
Yeah, I know, but she just tweeted this crap out on the 23rd. This has got to be a Poe account, but she supposedly, the weird thing is, she's with the Brexit party, I think. Yeah, coffee, gin, guns, Brexit, over the line. I could have swore I saw something here about UKIP, but
yeah, she is conservative,
but she's she's got to be trolling people, or she's got to be using people. Oh, this is how like shallow this woman is. Guys, fellas, if you're watching this, stay the hell away from women like this because they're freaking spoiled brats. They really are.
We all saw Theresa May finally step down. How do you feel about that?
Ding dong, the witch is dead. Witch, old witch, the wicked witch.
I will say, not to get too political or whatnot, too heavy, but it's about time, because from what I kept hearing and seeing, she kept selling out the UK. The UK's like, no, we want to leave, let us leave, quit freaking making us stay here. And so, but now I guess the articles are in limbo. But it's like, please step down, go away.
And it was like, one last thing, and then we'll move on. Any Remainer I talked to was like, oh no, I like Theresa May's plan. And so like waving the white flag around harder than the French. And then they just like dot.
If Britain's anything, we are. If Britain's anything, we are not cheese-eating surrender monkeys.
Yeah.
Because that was my exact recollection of May's plan. It was just like, oh, we're just gonna wave the white flag, surrender.
Yeah, and that. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, UK is one of those countries. They almost fall in line with Germany, with used to being a big powerhouse, and then they kind of pussed out because they didn't want to repeat the same shit they did years ago. But UK does have a fighting chance. Germany, not with what's her face in there. She's not even worth remembering the name for. Merkel. There you go. With Merkel still in power, they're dead.
Yeah, she's only got a couple of years now before she has to get the fuck out.
Oh, I wish. She supposedly when they revoted her in, or she got reelected, there was talk about how the election was rigged, and actually a lot of people were surprised of how she won again because of what happened with the refugees, and she's bought and paid for. She's another little hack that is going to get her comeuppance. And I'm not talking about death. We're not inciting violence, but everybody's been bought and paid for, politician-wise. It always comes out a few years later. Always, and they always get smacked upside the head with it. Always.
Yeah, mostly by George Soros. That's not even a conspiracy theory.
If we just have Jeremy Corbyn... No, if we just have Jeremy Corbyn have like a heart attack or something, then, she could be looking up for us.
It's in a way, it's kind of good that Britain is so focused on being very gentlemanly kind of people. Well, the British people are like that, but also that they aren't armed. Because I got a feeling if the United States was in the UK's position, some stuff would be happening. People wouldn't.
There'd be civil war.
Yeah.
We already have some of our vets threatening civil wars. Like, you come for certain stuff of ours, our guns, or certain freedoms, we're going to take you out. We've been through this process before, and this is what we lived and died for. Have fun.
Exactly. Here in the United States, we're on the very cusp of what could very easily become an absolute blood could spill very easily right now, and we're nowhere near where the UK is at.
Oh, because, we have people here who are like, you're not doing this bullshit, or we're going to shoot you dead. We don't care.
It's like when the Americans laughed. It's like when Americans laughed at the milkshake thing.
Leo,
like,
there's Leo again.
They're being very,
there you go, Leo.
Pussy and all that stuff. But they keep forgetting about the fact that England has acid attacks, and it's not normal to throw drinks at people in England because acid attacks.
Well, listen, I find it funny that someone threw a milkshake at Sargon. That guy's a fucking idiot. But still.
I mean,
it's just milkshakes. It's just milkshakes.
Well, here's the logic, because I haven't really read into what happened, but Sargon's a damn fool. He needs to.
Oh God.
Anyway, with the milkshake incident, some people are like, well, it's just a milkshake, haha, it's funny, but then people are like thinking, if we're laughing at the milkshakes, because I guess somebody tried to throw a brick later on down the line, because like what was like, well, it could escalate to a brick, and as Miss Steam pointed out, people could stick acid in those milkshakes. That's a legit thing. UK has already had a few acid attacks because a certain culture has been allowed to move in. Go ahead.
Most acid attacks actually happen by like a cup, like a McDonald's cup or a coffee cup, but it has battery acid in it.
Yeah, but still.
So it's actually normal for English people to freak out because it's like, we have acid attacks.
Yeah, no, that
have a right to freak out a little.
Yeah, no, it's like, say for like, if you threw like a milkshake here in the US, it'd be wrong, and the bugger would be getting like smacked upside the head by the cops. Probably slapped with some sort of fine for like mischief and things like that. But we don't have really any known cases that I have heard of recently of acid attacks, but that does happen in the UK. So we as Americans can laugh and go, you know what? It's the equivalent to a pissed off girlfriend splashing wine in her boyfriend's face. But again, we don't have the acid attacks because UK. Again, because certain cultures have been allowed to move in and not assimilate, mind you, and actually they're overrun the country. Cough, cough, con. You now have to worry about any liquid being thrown at anybody. So that is a legit concern. So from one standpoint, I go, yeah, Sargon's a damn fool. He needs to, sit down and make himself small for a while. I have no sympathy for his amount of dumb. But at the same time, seeing what is going on in the UK, the battle of the cultures, you have millennials in the middle who have they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They're fucking stupid. That's not including you, Misty, but you know what I'm referring to. And you have the older generations. Yeah, you have the older generations versus the new culture trying to come in and take over the country. So it's just no, we have every right to be concerned about this. Do not do this. This needs to be dealt with severity because of what's already been going on. So there's two sides of that coin. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's like the thing is I've seen acid attacks. I've fucking seen it, and I live in a city that's heavily populated. It's like I've seen it, and once you see it, you kind of get a bit paranoid of everyone throwing drinks at you because, yeah, that shit is scarring.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen pictures of people who were victims of acid attacks. That is like candle wax melting in a fire. That is not funny. That is horrific.
It doesn't make our state press for whatever reason, and especially doesn't make the local press because I live in a city that's I think we're a little over now 80% black, which does play. It is a factor. But we do have a mosque, and we've had it for about 10 years. Finally, about 3 weeks ago, had our very first acid attack.
On who?
And it was battery acid, and it was very well known from everybody nearby. The guy is an absolute devout Muslim. And it didn't get reported on because of supposed possible Islamophobia.
But here's the thing. I'm so sick of that freaking word because, and again, not trying to get political and stuff, but you have to acknowledge what the religion teaches. You have to acknowledge what is in their book. That's why you have, because I follow him on Twitter, you have the Imam of Peace, and people like to call him a fake prophet or apostate, whatever. He's calling for, and he's not the only one calling for the reform of Islam because it's very much barbaric. Anytime that culture, because it's also a culture as well, because of the way that they the way that the religion treats its people, the way that they dictate, it's a horrible religion. People are like, well, Christianity is the same thing. Don't even go there with me. I'll freaking smack you one. But Islam can't assimilate anywhere. It just can't. The devout followers cannot integrate or assimilate anywhere. Because because people are like, well, the Muslims who do all this stuff, they're radicals. No, they're the actual Muslims who are following the Quran to the letter, if you actually take the time to study the book. So I'm so sick of these words. Islamophobic, you're homophobic, you're transphobic. Shut up. Acknowledge facts. Don't like them, I don't care.
To quote, this is going to sound super nerdy, but to quote Star Trek, I think the character of Guinan, the Borg do not explore, they conquer.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, no. Oh no, definitely. Islam is conquer and convert, and if they do not convert, then you either tax them with a jaza or you kill them. That's how it is.
Islam was off terrorism.
What's so funny?
You know why Muhammad was a criminal exiled into the desert.
Hold on,
why Muhammad had.
Hold on. Steph, why are you laughing?
So Jace posted something in Barrel. I'm just laughing at it. I'll mute myself.
Okay.
But yeah, Muhammad was exiled into the desert, which is basically a death sentence back then. Mm-hmm. And then he has a bunch of followers. So, other criminals and criminals' children And they kept going to city and city to convert people, slaves, slaves and raids and all that stuff. Yeah, the religion was basically founded off terrorism. So...
But it's the religion of peace.
That's what my little sister tried to say
Religion of
a few
peace,
months
yeah.
back. Oh, it's a religion of peace. This is just responding to American attacks. I said, Catherine, that's absolute bullshit. Sorry for swearing, but
No, I've been swearing. You're fine.
It's a religion of peace that was founded on...
I don't know where the hell she's gotten this. It had to have been from that college, because she
It's
has
college.
seen men come back home with missing limbs. One guy with both his legs and his left arm gone.
Yeah, no, it is called. I'm telling you, right now there's a push for college because it's indoctrination, because they're pushing progressive ideals. This is why I've said time and time again.
I'm pretty sure there's a push for college because it gets you in debt. People make money on it.
Well, that too. But at the same time, again, there's also a push for it because they're pushing certain ideals in there. That is also a thing as well. And this is why I don't think if I were to go to a normal college, I would not last in college. My ass would get kicked out because my stuff would be found. It's like, apologize. No, fuck you. I'm not changing my views for your fifis. It's not happening.
I think when it comes to discussing something like this without having anybody here that can counterbalance this is kind of superfluous.
Yeah, no, true enough.
I've got a perfect video for this.
Okay.
I actually have one too. This is one by James Alsop. It's called.
Okay, give me one sec here. Throw it in the main hall. I'll bring it up here in a sec. I'm adding Ponder Sprocket's stuff to the thingamadio real quick.
Yeah, the rubbish terrorists.
I'm sorry, what?
I put it in main hall. The rubbish terrorists. You're welcome.
Okay. Dr. Woodshed.
Right. You step out of the van.
Oh God, how is this still on YouTube? Wow.
England used to have some balls when it came to jokes, and now it's all eradicated.
I mean, a lot of UK comedians still have their balls. It's just they don't want to do shows in the UK.
Yeah, okay.
Right. You step out of the van at 7:59 p.m. exactly. The bomb will be strapped under your coat. You walk slowly into the middle of the street, which at the time will be crowded with the infidel.
Wait from chat for a minute.
At 8 p.m. exactly. You pull
There's someone
this
was
cord,
having a debate about
and
something.
the device will explode. Allah will receive you and you shall enter paradise. Allah Akbar.
Allah Akbar. Hello, lads. Is it Wednesday again? You can do your jihad now, but I'll need the time in 20 minutes to set your
You got somebody named Tom Riddle coming in here saying the same thing. Why don't we just throw him in and have some fun here for a minute?
Okay, and that's fun because this might get my channel struck. Like I said, I don't know how I fit.
It's fine. It's fine. It's just
no. But let me explain.
It's basically the whole concept of.
For one channel, it may be okay to have the content on, but for another, they could get struck. I'm not kidding. YouTube is not consistent with their striking system. But what is going on?
Let's throw Tom Riddle in here. Let's have some fun.
I can actually I can prove that Trish. And I don't know a lot about.
I think you need to let me handle that one. Stab.
No, but let me just say one thing.
Stab.
Oh,
just one thing.
Yeah, no. The rubbish terrorists are basically. So it's basically like they're trying to do jihad, but they keep fucking up because they grew up in English culture, so they're too tempted by English culture to carry out a jihad. It's hilarious.
Do you even know what jihad means?
Holy war.
That's one possible meaning, but the main definition for the word is struggle.
Oh, okay.
Struggle, holy war.
The majority of the time, though,
it depends on the context.
Yeah,
we use it here in Western media to describe terroristic activity, which may or may not be a struggle for good, as they call it in the translation. But that's how we know it. That doesn't mean that's how it's most often used. Step. I mean, what's the most spoken language in the world?
English.
You sure about that?
Spanish.
Oh, it was Spanish. Hold on.
Let's see here.
The majority of the overwhelming.
Oh, I think it was Mandarin, correct?
Correct. Mandarin Chinese.
Oh, okay. I was something else.
Well, I mean, that was really easy to figure out. What country has the highest population?
China. Yeah. Okay.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, I thought about that. Like, wait a second.
Look, when it comes to debating theology of Christianity versus Islam, number one, you don't want to have a one-sided argument where everybody agrees with each other. That's kind of asinine. Doesn't make for much fun.
Yeah.
Even
true enough.
for entertainment value. Secondly, not a single one of us has a real understanding of that theology, myself included. None of us really do. We can take whatever listicles we want. We can try to take whatever hot takes we found on Twitter or wherever. But all we're really doing is taking somebody else's interpretation of what's going on, not our own.
Christianity doesn't have jihad. Not jihad. Fucking.
With that, hi, Professor. I will say with one thing, and we can change the subject. With one thing, I've actually taken the time to study certain things. That's how I've come to my conclusions. And that's why, when it comes to certain aspects of the church, I do not agree with the way they handle a lot of shit. And I've talked about it on my channel because I've gone and looked at specific things that were used or...
There's a cat, okay.
Stream complete, upload, no, start back up. Okay, stream resume. I do apologize for the disconnect, folks. Stay off my desk. I'm connected.
Talks about, tell me where it's spoken about in the Quran.
It isn't, but it's a set of laws.
Yeah, no, answer his question, dude.
I just did.
No. He's asking for the context of the mention of Sharia law, how to put the law down if there's land in the Quran.
I didn't say there was. I'm just saying the Sharia law was put into place by believers of the Quran as principles.
Yes, if you want to talk about what some people who claim to have Christian beliefs have done in the past. You want to talk about the Klan?
And I do have real quick the answer to your question, Leo, because this is by the BBC Co UK. I've just read a little snippet here. All aspects of a Muslim's life are governed by Sharia. Sharia law comes from a combination of sources, including the Quran, the Muslim holy book, the Hadith, sayings and conduct of the Prophet Muhammad, and the fatwas, the ruling of Islamic scholars. So it is a combination from all three books.
Which version of Sharia law? Because there's multiple different types.
Yes, and there's actually different types of Islam too. There's like Sunni, Shiite, and I think there's two more. It's been a while, but yeah.
But the sad thing is, Step couldn't answer that. Step, you really did. You really didn't.
No, and I don't think he understood the question. I'm not making fun of you, Step. Like I said, I'm not used to having minors in my stream. But I don't think you quite understood the question. He was usually when you get asked questions like this, they're looking for the context. If there's context to be found in the source that's being referenced, if that makes sense. I'ma kill you. Keep talking. My freaking dork of a husband.
Was in the Hadiths.
Just for
it's a little
1
more
second
than just
while
a
she's on the
Hadith.
phone, I'm gonna nerd out real quick with Tom's question. Why is all air traffic control conducted in English? When a Russian and a Chinese businessman meet in Moscow, do they speak in English? Normally, amongst two businessmen, they'll have agreed beforehand what language they will speak, or they'll bring interpreters along. But air traffic control, that's a very, very, very simple answer. Aviation, its heart is the United States. All the very first regulations came about in the late 30s in the United States. The Federal Aviation Administration, which replaced the Civil Air Authority, was established in 52. And really, a lot of countries just go 100% by what we go by. But then you have other countries like Britain. You guys have your own standards, but you so closely copy our standards that you almost can just copy and paste.
Okay, I do have a quick question real quick because it is 9:10. Do we need to take a 5-minute break?
No.
Okay, the only reason why I ask because I usually run 5 minutes, like an hour in, because I have ads, but if no one needs a break, we'll continue on. I do apologize. I was just wondering if people needed a breather real quick.
Thanks for letting me nerd out for a minute.
But
You're just lucky there's no locker rooms nearby.
Yeah, most of the West has similar standards to the USA. It's mostly because the USA is a mixture of Western Europe.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and right after World War II, the United States was really... Britain can claim that you'll have the RAF, but the RAF was, at the end of the war, was a fraction of its former glory. The only major air force that existed, really, was Russia, which had majority U.S.-built aircraft, and the United States. Exactly, like the Bell P-39 Airacobra. Oh, not as a King Cobra. It was a P-39 Airacobra. Horrible airplane, but they loved it because it was so easy to land.
I don't have a lot of knowledge on World War II.
I do know, I will say, like, from what I remember of World War II, I found it, just from the little bit I read and the little bit I learned in high school, it was the most contradicting war I had ever even read about, because we were fighting the Nazis and the Communist Party for their treatment of not only of the Jews, the disabled people, and things like that, and trying to get them out of the concentration camps. We're also trying to, I think, recover something that Germany got pissed about from World War I, and Hitler went off. But again, we were trying to fight Germany, Italy, and Japan from doing what they were doing to the Jews. That was one of the goals, our goals, and when it comes to fighting World War II. But
we didn't know about the concentration camps until like the very end of the Soviets discovered
The
it.
reason why we jumped in the war was twofold. Number one, because Russia was gaining too much power. Actually, that's number two. Number one is because the Japanese pissed us off, and number two is because
the Pearl Harbor. Yes.
Germany,
The thing is,
and the reason, and this is actually how Germany shot themselves in the foot. Germany wasn't required to declare the United States after Japan attacked Pearl.
Exactly. Not only that, but of course, Japan attacked on December 7th, and about 30 minutes after, instead of before, the ambassador from Japan actually gave the articles of war to the U.S. ambassador. But Germany hopped right on those coattails, and this is one of the two big ways they just shot themselves in the foot. They declared war right away.
Well, it was because of Hitler. It was because of the anger that Germany still had from World War One. If you do remember, I don't remember what World War One was about, but Germany lost land to the U.S. The U.S. gained certain parts of their land from World War One.
Territories.
Yeah, and Germany was still pissed off about that, and they wanted those land back. So they started
if you want to see an actual war of contradictions and just nobody who started it winning, you'd have to look at the Japanese Revolution.
No, China.
No, it'd have
Three
to be
Nations
Japan.
of China.
Three Nations of China is one thing, but Japan, the people who were fighting the war, they lost. They lost their own civil war.
Hey, that's fair enough.
Well, the reason why I call World War II contradicting, because we turned against our own U.S. citizens, because there was like the Red Scare, we had black lists going on, we had red lists going on.
We were doing far worse things before and after.
Well, no, I'm aware, but like we took our own citizens, anybody who had, because we had our own concentration camps. Granted, they were not anywhere near as bad as Germany's.
They were just all they were internment camps to keep Japanese.
Well, it wasn't just Japanese.
There was evidence.
Yeah, there was.
It's similar with the Red Scare and the McCarthy trials.
I know, but not everybody had. We took Japanese descendants, we took Italian descendants, and then we also took freaking German descendants. And also, here's something what's messed up, because during the time of World War II is like when people of color, black people, were fighting for their own rights. The Tuskegee Airmen, if you guys actually remember the story, and I know Hollywood likes to exaggerate some stuff, and I need to read upon to see if this is actually true, but this was in the movie. is there's a scene that of the Tuskegee Airmen, how they were kicked off a flippin' train when they were fighters in the war, and they instead replaced on the train prisoners of war either from Italy or from Germany. I do not know if that part is true in the movie, but
they did that.
That's fucked up.
They actually really did that.
When
Not only that,
when America
but
detains
quite a few of the airplanes that they learned to fly in, back in the days of the U.S. Army Air Corps, the very first airplane you flew was an L-4 Grasshopper, a painted green Piper J3 Cub, 65 horsepower, 4-cylinder engine. Then you went to a primary trainer number 17, Stearman, radial engine biplane. Both of those, they didn't really get to fly the Stearman much at all because there were so few that were actually able to do anything. And by today's standards, an airplane that I would consider not good, I wouldn't even really think of this. What they were flying was absolutely decrepit. Their wooden main spar of their Cubs were rotten to the extent that some of their airplanes, when they landed, would break their main spars. And that's basically breaking the backbone of the airplane.
Oof.
I'd like to say when America detained the Japanese, the Italians, all them lot. When they detained them, what the government did do a really fucked up thing and basically took all their possessions away that they couldn't carry. So there was actually a lot. So after the war ended, there was actually a lot of Americans that were descended from other countries beforehand that have just completely lost everything because, well, the government basically owned everything they couldn't carry with them. And that's never really talked about in media because it's not a flattering thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of messed up shit. Go ahead, because was it with the Japanese that we also here's what's also fucked up about the concentration camps that we had against their own American citizens because of their descent. The Japanese descendants were made to fight in World War II, which, by the way, because we had two what do you call those groups, Leo? The fighter pilots, like there's certain, is it the battalion? Am I thinking of the right word? I've never been through the military, so. Huh?
Squadron.
I mean, to be honest,
Squadron. We had a Japanese one, which didn't lose any men, because I do believe that if I'm getting these right, the Japanese squadron, I forgot what they were called, did not lose any men, and they fought they were either the most honorable, I can't remember if it was the Tuskegee men didn't lose anybody, or if it was the Japanese one. One was considered more honorable, and then one didn't lose anybody at all. I can't remember which one. Go ahead, Miss Steam.
The Tuskegee Airmen, which did do some escort missions over Germany, I don't remember if they didn't lose. I know they lost their own pilots, but as far as I know, the handful of missions that they were escorting B-17s and B-24s, they didn't lose anybody.
Yeah.
And they were one of the most requested one of the most requested squadrons from bomber pilots of the whole European theater.
That's because our pilots, whenever they would see a lick of a German, they would completely abandon the mission and go after the Germans.
Actually, that is absolutely false. Originally, they were told that to stay with the bombers, and they did stay with the bombers well, and this is what the movie absolutely gets backwards. They were told to stay with the bombers. Stay with the bombers, stay with the bombers. That didn't work. As soon as they were allowed to go and kill the fighters, then the death toll from the bomber crews just plummeted. Basically, they were keeping the fighters on a leash, making the bombers feel good. Did it actually do good? No, absolutely not. That is something that really irks me about that movie.
Like I said, I know Hollywood is known to exaggerate things or change details, but you were trying to say something, Miss Steam. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying when you were saying there was Japanese citizens that were forced to go into the army. That's true in a lot of countries. I mean, Germany. When Germany's numbers were starting to getting a little low, and they got a bit desperate. They ended up forcing 14-year-old kids.
This is true.
To go to war.
It's too bad they didn't take step.
Hollywood likes to paint it like, oh, well, they snuck in the war. No, these German kids were forced to actually fight in the war.
That, if I have the right word, that's a form of bench pressing or it's a British term. Granted, it pertains to sailors when men were literally forced into slavery for the military. Huh?
Conscripting I think is what it is.
Conscription. Let me see. I'm gonna look it up.
Okay, while you look that up, the movie, if y'all have seen it, Fury paints that exact thing very, very, very well.
Oh, nope. You're right. Conscription.
Oh, okay. I was a little unsure. At the as Germany got more and more desperate, they were drafting 10-year-old boys. One scene in Fury where they have a 4-tank column. The tank Fury is the second one. Norman, the assistant driver, he just has a .30 caliber machine gun. He sees something run off to the side. It's a 10-year-old boy with a Panzerfaust. Shoots
a what? Wait.
Panzerfaust. It translates to tank fist. It is a shaped charge, looks like an RPG. In fact, the RPG 7 is a direct descendant from it. Yeah. But this kid, probably meant to be no more than like 10 years old, shoots it, kills everyone. In fact, the tank commander crawls off the tank. His entire body is on fire. Pulls out his M1911A1 and puts a round through his head.
God.
War Daddy, the commander of the tank named Fury, grabs Norman and says, "I don't care if that kid has a crud whatever in his hand and Mama's titty in the other. You kill him." Not only that, but there's another scene where they're going into a small town, and they end up killing a SS officer who's been pressing all of the kids into military service and hanging them from the telephone poles right outside of town. One has a sign that says, "I am a coward and refuse to fight for the German people."
That's the Bochum Harem shit.
More than 12.
They like to use piano wire.
Okay, let's. I'm not trying to cut off the conversation, but let's take it to a different direction. Cause how about we stay away from the dark shit?
I'm getting depressed.
Oh dear God! Somebody bring something else up. Holy fuck!
Where's Ichabod? Is he in this call?
He has a storm moving in his area. Ichabod.
Tell him to stop being a pussy and get in call and face the storm like a man.
Hey, Leo's challenging you. Ichabod, I know you're in the chat.
Gonna tell him why his taste in anime is bad.
He says your taste in anime is bad.
Fuck. Hey, Steam, you know that's why they welded quite a few little pieces of rebar to Jeeps? Was that wire?
No. Falcon. No more.
Oh, sorry.
God, that got dark. No. What I was trying to avoid.
We have gun
I get to work on a Jeep tomorrow. Don't blame me.
We have Gun Doge in here. I'm guessing his little moniker there is a reference to the Mark II from Zeta Gundam, right?
Oh, no, that's actually Sayori. Gundam series.
I'm talking about your screen name, dude. I know who Sayori is.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The Mark II.
Which one?
In
AU
fact,
or
Titan.
Heathen.
What was that?
I called you a heathen.
Okay, so I have something that we can laugh at. I don't touch comic books, and because I caught into a little bit of a debate about Batwoman, because like the cringy Batwoman trailer that just came out. Oh my God, that's gonna bomb, by the way. I don't touch comic books, especially from Marvel and DC, because they like to re-jumpstart everything. I like the original Batwoman, by the way. that is not related to Bruce Wayne, that did not break into the Batcave and did her own shit.
Which Batwoman would that be?
What do you mean? Which Batwoman would that be?
The first Batwoman was Kathy Kane. She wore green.
Do you actually find it funny that
the black and red one
out about
it's
the black and red Batwoman again was his cousin.
No, actually no. The original black and red was not his cousin, because I just got in a debate with somebody how they revised that and re-jumped her story. The original black and red one had nothing to do with Bruce Wayne. Was actually a lover at one point, and actually had a lesbian lover, because there is a movie about Batwoman, how Batman has to figure out what is going on, because there's two women that are technically Batwoman. And one is trying to deal with her father, who is working with the Joker. And Bruce Wayne is having a hard time kind of figure out what's going on, because when he's with one woman, Batwoman appears. Because there's one scene where
Are you sure you're not talking about Mystery of the Batwoman, the DC animated movie?
Yeah, there's that one, but I've also read up on the original story of Batwoman, the black and red one. Because they have two stories. They have the one that just got revised, where now she's Bruce Wayne's cousin. That's what the new show's going off of. And then they had the original story to where she was still black and red, but she did all of her own shit. But yes, I have seen the Mystery of Batwoman DC animated.
I find it funny that there is. I'm saying that the Batwoman trailer is kind of cringy, sort of thing. But Ruby Rose, I have seen Ruby Rose in other things, and she is a talented actor. And if she's not given a totally shit script, it could be salvageable, but the thing is that I do find it funny that people are freaking out, like, oh my god, they made Batwoman into a lesbian. It's like, she was always a lesbian.
Here's the thing, that's not the part I care about.
You read the comics?
Well, yeah, no, she did. One of her original stories, she did have a lesbian girlfriend. I don't care about that part. I've seen the trailer, and they're going off of a news story, because like I said, I'm not much of a comic book freak. I stay away from them, because I keep rejumping the story. And it drives me fucking nuts. And it's just like, nope, not ever touching the comics. I don't care too many multi-universes. I don't give a shit. I'm going to stick with the animated stuff. But anyway, so, no, oh god, that shit drives me nuts. It's like, well, they rejumped the story. Whatever. Anyway.
Truckers are crazy. The comic book people I've lost it.
I stay away from comic book shit. Anyway, though, with the actual trailer to Batwoman, it's the fact that she breaks into Bruce Wayne's cave, Batcave, and here's this line. Here's the line that tells you how the entire show is going to be. When the assistant comes down, I don't even know who the hell this is supposed to be. I don't know if it's supposed to be Fox's son. I have no fucking idea who this guy is. Where he goes, well, it's perfection. And Batwoman's character goes, oh, well, it's going to be perfect when it's fit for a woman. And the Batsuit looks fucking atrocious, because it looks like a horrible female rendition of the original Bats.
One thing I found funny about that trailer,
go ahead,
is the Batwoman says something along, giving a man credit for doing a woman's job. Didn't you steal everything from a man, Bruce Wayne?
Mm-hmm.
See, I just don't watch any of the live action stuff, because it's
I don't either.
Piss out of me.
I don't either. But here's like the thing I was laughing at, because it was the Umbrella guy actually posted this. This is, I don't know what this is. I'm like kind of confused by it, but it's literally called Social Justice Warrior Superpowered Surgeon Badass. And I don't know if this is supposed to be a Poe comic, but he retweeted this, and I'm just going like, there's no way. There's no way that people sat in the studio, sat in the briefing, not the briefing room, but the boardroom of art directors, because there is like art directors that actually with this stuff, and thought this was a good idea. If this is supposed to be like a parody attempt, like what South Park does and all that shit, fine. But if this is supposed to be something serious, it's going to fail hard, and there's going to be bitching later because of the evil white male didn't buy it.
That sounds a lot like Faith.
Oh god, yes! We actually covered Faith in one of the streams. That is a joke.
What?
Oh my god. You don't know about the Faith Marvel comic, Leo?
Oh, you're talking about the heavyset girl.
Yes, that like floats and has telekinesis. It's like, are you fuckers kidding me? What?
What's the problem with it? What's the problem with it?
But
That person has telekinesis and
Hold on.
floats!
And?
Oh my, you don't see the problem. That is a stereotypical joke. She doesn't have to move around, she doesn't have to fight.
You're cutting out on me.
He's fat.
What, Leo?
You cut out on me. I couldn't hear part of what you were talking about.
Okay, so she is a super.
I mean, she would be the most powerful one on the battlefield, being that, you know, once her body touches the ground, an earthquake happens.
Oh, for the love of Pete.
No, I just you haven't.
See it coming.
You haven't. Oh, you
also,
have
Titan Master Race.
You have an overweight superhero who's not physically in shape, and in order to move around properly, she has to use telekinesis.
Yeah, and on the opposite end of the spectrum, we have the Blob from X-Men.
Yeah, but the Blob doesn't have telekinesis. The Blob also has strength, too.
Look, when it comes to dealing with fiction, you can't have both your ways in this. If you're worried about it due to lack of reality, then you probably shouldn't be reading fiction.
Oh no, that's not what I want. I'm just worried about it. It almost sounds like a joke comic, a joke superhero.
Every single version of any superhero, it doesn't matter which one. All right, I'll do this with Batman, because any form of fiction broken down to its most minute is ridiculous. Orphan with mental issues dresses up like a furry and punches people. It sounds just as ridiculous when you break it down to its
Batman's not a furry. What the fuck?
Does he dress like a bat?
He took a symbol. Yes, he does like a bat. But there's more to it.
Does he have sex with a girl who wears a cat costume?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh my god. Okay.
Let's.
I'm gonna mute people.
There are some elements that seem like they actually could be a little realistic, a little bit. Faith floating over the ground.
There's nothing realistic about Batman. I'm sorry, but that's fact. If Batman existed, he would have been dead a long time ago from all the grievous wounds he's suffered.
Yes, my point is with Batman, this is why I liked him growing up, because he took something he was afraid of and turned it into a weapon against others to fight for justice. That is why I like Batman. So go ahead, Miss Dame.
Mike, go ahead.
I'm just saying, there's a person making a comic at the moment, and it's a very skinny woman and a very fat man, and it's basically a superhero comic, and a lot of people like it because, well, it's kind of a Deadpool parody.
You're talking about Mr. Marvel.
John Pulio and
Juan Poole. I know. Mr. Marvel is the one doing it. Look.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm just saying, like, fat superheroes can work. You just have to put a little bit of effort in it. If they're putting effort in it, great.
What do you mean put a little bit of effort in it? He's just making fun of Deadpool and Mexicans. It's not putting effort into it. Look, despite what you might say, what your problems with Faith may be, at least with Faith, this is an original character this person has created from the ground up.
Yes. What I'm trying to say is it's in a story, writing a story. You put a bit of effort with a fat character, usually, in comedy or in serious tone. You kind of have to put some effort in.
Well, let me ask a question.
With SJ Young comics, I don't...
Who here has actually read the Faith? Who here has actually read the Faith comics? I mean, actually read them.
I don't even know what
I've seen snippets, I've seen pages, but I've not taken the time to read it.
I read half of one and put my phone down.
Okay, so we have somebody who read snippets and somebody who read half of it. That is not enough to give an actual valued criticism of it.
No, I agree. I'm just going off for like the images and stuff that I'm seeing. It's like there's no fucking way.
What I'm trying to say
the
is...
The whole concept just screams, look at us, we're virtue signaling. It doesn't scream any creativity was here at all.
Prove virtue signaling. I want you to objectively prove that.
Okay, hold on, Leo. Miss Dame was trying to say something, and then we'll have him prove his case. What were we saying, Miss Dame?
What I was trying to say is, with most SJW comics, they don't actually tend to put effort in their writing, so their characters usually fall flat, boring, lifeless, all that stuff, and people have kind of associated if it's SJW
Keep
writer,
going.
then the comic is bad. That's not always the case, because there's some SJW writers that actually does do some good writing. It's just people have conflated the two, and that seems what happens now. And people don't really want to waste their time on it. For instance,
Case, go ahead, Steam and all.
Kim and Kim. Do you remember the comics Kim and Kim?
Never read them.
No.
Everyone hates those comics not because they're SJW, but because it's a bad story. It's bad story, bad world building, bad characters. If it's a comic that's got good world building, good story, good characters, people won't really care much about the politics. But if it's a bad story, bad characters, bad world building, people are going to care a lot more about the politics. And that's pretty much it. So if they don't put effort into the story, the politics is blatant as fuck. If they put effort into the story, people won't mind the politics so much.
Okay, but tell me what your value system for effort and a story is, because it varies from person to person. It's a very subjective term. Here, let me ask you a more broad question, since everybody kind of keeps throwing the term SJW around. Who here watched the trailer for Thundercats Roar?
Oh my god.
I asked a question. I would like an answer.
I did.
Nobody?
I didn't like the anime. No,
I did.
I watched the trailer.
Okay, so tell me, are there any SJWs involved?
I couldn't tell you that.
You're right.
Yeah.
You can't. Nobody can. And yet, tons of videos came out at the time. Hold on. Tons of videos came out at the time accusing these people of being SJWs, and the art style is to remove the male gaze. A bunch of nonsense coming from nothing. And when you break down 90% of these claims, that's what it all comes down to. If you don't like the way the story is written, fine, don't read it. But making asinine claims that you cannot objectively prove in any way, shape, or form with any real merit is completely reductive, and you're not doing yourself or anybody else any favors in doing it.
Well, actually, let me point out something, because I understand what you're talking about just from the small snippets. Hold on.
That the Cal art style is just completely.
There is no such thing as the Cal art style.
Well,
nothing. Do you know where that phrase came from?
Yeah, no, I know where. Yeah, I know where it came from.
No, I'm asking him. I'm asking him, not you.
Okay.
I don't know where it came from, but it's fucking trash.
Where did it come from?
I don't know. I just hear a bunch of people in Korea.
Let me put this then. Let me put this very plainly. The term Cal art style as a derogatory term was coined by John Crispolucci in the 90s when he was deriding the Iron Giant. That's who you're taking that term from. John Crispolucci.
After people Cal Arts, I don't know what you people are talking about.
Cal Arts is used as a colloquial term to describe a very limited form of animation due to lack of detail and a more bubbly or squishy viewpoint to it. And that is primarily because people don't pay attention to what's actually going on in animation. Now, you want to bring in Korean studios, you can do that all you want. But you know what? Their budget's still low, and Japanese animation is still very much so garbage from a frame-to-frame perspective.
Well, here's the thing also about the Cal Arts term. The reason why you hear the term Cal Arts is because a lot of the artists that are doing these cartoons are from one particular art school in California. That's why, because somebody
Except that they're not. That is that was a term that was coined in the 90s that has morphed into other things. Are there people who were working at Cal Arts that do cartoons now? Absolutely.
That's I think I know what you're I think I know who you're talking about, because I just realized the characters in there. Yeah, so people are conflating artistic design with animation, and they're two different things. Animation can be fluid as fuck, but still look like shit, while art design can be amazing, but have very, very, very shitty animation. So people conflated the two.
When it comes to the art style, that's, again, very, very subjective. And anybody who tries to tell you that, say, specifically Japanese animation has a higher level of detail, it all varies. It all varies very much so. And to pretend like Japanese animation hasn't taken a dip from the 70s either is absolutely asinine if you measure it out properly and if you actually know what you're talking about here. The reason why a lot of animation style, I'm talking about how the forms are drawn and everything, are more limited is because we have lost a significant amount of money in the animation industry in the West. And we've lost it in Japan as well. because we don't funnel the money the way it used to anymore. We don't advertise properly. The toy industry has gone down. There's a lot of things adding up to it. And instead of actually addressing the root of the problem, instead we just make fun of the cartoon for not looking to our standards.
I will say one thing as well is during my time in high school, when learning about like with 3D, because when I was working at a movie theater, and this is when I got off high school, you had the big movement of 3D animation. With 3D animation, I'm not saying it's bad. There's a lot of cool things that people have done, but if you look at there's more of a take of 3D animation now. We have lost elements of 2D animation. We have lost a lot of discipline. Give you an example. If you guys remember the old Beauty and the Beast movie, like the good stuff from the Disneys, the shot of the dancing ballroom, because I forgot, was it Glenn Close was the artist who did that particular shot? No, Glenn Close was the animator
Glenn
for
Close
Beast.
is an actress.
Oh no, I'm trying to think of the Disney animator, but anyway, there was a particular animator who, when he was animating that dance scene, was all done by hand. No 3D, no computers. That was all fucking done by hand.
Hold on. When it comes to the ballroom scene in Beauty and the Beast, the backgrounds and the camera movements are done in 3D, whereas the animation for the dancing sequence is done in traditional 2D. The problem you have with 3D is it's extremely dated very, very quickly, whereas 2D tends to have a more timeless element to it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why a Donald Duck cartoon from the 1920s still looks good.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, definitely.
For instance, Invader Sim, when they didn't use 3D in their machinery, they used 2.5D, and that's why it still looks good today.
That 2.5D is a ridiculous term. It's still 3D. All they're doing is cell shaded 3D. And you'll find a lot of cartoons in the modern age do that. Look at Family Guy. Every single vehicle is a 3D model that is 2D colored and shaded.
I didn't know about that about Family Guy, but...
Yep.
Yeah, you can tell when it's 3D with a 2D coloring. If you look real closely. And sometimes it's too obvious.
And part of the problem of using buzzwords, as much as everybody in the anti-SJW camp likes to complain about them, is they tend to, number one, do that themselves. Using a word like Cal Art Style is a buzzword, a weasel word, and it robs you of being able to actually engage somebody because they will write you off immediately because you clearly don't know what you're talking about. Learn to actually describe your issues here. When the Thundercats Roar animation trailer came out, I could actually put out a video describing what the actual issues I have with it are, and I didn't have to once fall back on something like buzzwords or Cal Art Style or complaining about the fact that the art director has a ponytail. These are all asinine things. They don't have any valid criticisms to them. All they are is whinging and whining using buzzwords, just like the people that you say you don't like.
No, and that's fair enough, because if you throw on a particular buzzword, people, the certain emotion or certain feeling riles from that one buzzword. No, I get what you're saying.
It's reductive.
Yeah.
It's reductive.
I will say, as I don't know too much about Thundercats Roar, I've seen snippets of like the very old cartoon. I've seen the 2011, and then I've seen the style for the Thundercats Roar. I will say, because of the style, because of the overall attitude of this new show, and I know this is supposed to attract younger audiences to the older stuff, I get that, but for me, just looking at like the different styles, for me, I feel like a lot of the personality of the characters is lost, the overall story, because it's exaggerated, it's way too cartoony, it's no longer a serious cartoon. And I know that Thundercats, the very old one, had some cheesy aspects, but it was still something you could get excited about. This one, it's just, I guess I could describe noodle characters that's dressed as a Thundercats. That's like the best I can describe it as, just by going off like the little bit I know about the show.
The original Thundercats was a co-opted experience between a Japanese animation studio and a Western studio, Rankin Boss and Pacific Animation Corporation.
Oh, wow.
After Thundercats, Silverhawks, Tiger Shark, Karate Cat, and a few other things that Rankin Boss did through Pacific Animation Corporation, Pacific Animation Corporation transformed itself into Disney East, and other parts of it folded into Studio Ghibli. The first part of Pacific Animation Corporation that did stuff like The Hobbit, Last Unicorn, Flight of Dragons, stuff like that, was actually Topcraft Studio, and they split in the mid-'80s. Part of it became what we know as Studio Ghibli. The other part became Pacific Animation Corporation. You have people like Sugiyuki Kubo, who worked on the intro for Thundercats, went on to work on other stuff. He worked on Fist of the North Star, Macross, Do You Remember Love? You have other people who did the animation for the intro and the show that went to work on Project Eiko, Gunbuster, Bleach, Naruto. You had old school draftsmen for the comic industry, like Leonard Starr, that helped create it. So the reason why you're seeing a downgrade is, number one, budgety. Number two, when they tried to do a more serious take, it was too expensive. They made really bad decisions. They didn't know what they were doing with the property. They killed it intentionally. So now they're trying for the lowest common denominator. They're trying for the lowest budget take they can do because they're trying to keep their hands in that license.
I will say, because you do have a point about when you do something more serious, you have to pay attention to the style, the surroundings, the music, the overall attitude of the show, and that does, like, more serious cartoons do require a bit more detail and to have the ideas and the characters fleshed out. You have to have story arcs that explain the development of the characters if you want to captivate your audience.
Not exactly, because if you ever heard of USR?
USR, no.
Well, that's also more of a writing aspect as opposed to the
he-
animation one.
Well,
it's
a combo.
This director who Devilman Crybaby.
Yeah, I never watched it. I don't watch Devilman, so
That's fine. Well, do you remember the animation style?
I'm aware.
Yeah.
What was it
He
now?
also has a thing where he actually Devilman Crybaby. It was on Netflix for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still on Netflix.
Well, the director Yuasa, he has a certain style where it's like he can actually tell some really amazing and kind of mature stories, but he uses very simplistic animation. And the thing is that is he still has a simplistic, not animation, design. He still has a very simplistic design, but he still tells quite adult stories on top of that.
Right, because it has more,
it's not.
We're talking about detail in storytelling. That's more of a writing aspect.
Well,
when it talks about detail in animation, that's another matter altogether.
Here's let me rephrase it. Certain styles have a more serious tone to them. I'll give you a very obvious example. Like we'll use the Legend of Zelda series. Let's compare Ocarina of Time to Wind Waker. Ocarina of Time has a more pointed, more of a serious tone, more of a, if you will, darker tone to it, to their animation style. Wind Waker has a more cartoony, more expressive, some slapstick humor because they literally have Link crash into the Tower of the Gods as it's coming out of the ocean. But if you break down the story, certain aspects of Wind Waker are darker than Ocarina of Time. But because of the style, people don't pay attention to those darker aspects. I'm a Wind Waker nut. I've played both games. So to me, that's an example, cartoony versus more serious. It doesn't have to be overall detailed to be serious. This, to me, is a serious style. It expresses a lot. The characters probably don't have their expressions over-exaggerated, because I have our Google images pulled up on the TV here. This, to me, looks like a serious style. It expresses enough, but it doesn't go too far to where I can't take it seriously anymore. It doesn't look like slapstick humor.
Actually, in the series, they like when it's more comedic, they do actually go off style.
Let's see. That's.
I'm just pointing out, like they
No,
do
you're
actually
fine.
go off style in the series. So
Personally, when it comes to Golden Guy's work, I prefer Mazinger over anything Devilman related, especially if it's comparable to Violence Jack, and don't care for Violence Jack either.
yeah, but I just kind of went with the thing that people know most.
I've never even seen or heard of this. Oh, what is this? Is this like a yaoi?
It really blew up. It really blew up online.
No, it's not. It's not a yaoi. It's about a man who is he has demonic powers.
Okay, so this must be like a perfect example of this little kissing scene. It's kind of over exaggerated. This actually.
So you want to see the exaggeration? Type in Devilman Run.
Okay, give me one. Hold on. I will say another one that I can actually take seriously and do like, and I started to look into, and I need to like dig into it, is Lupin the Third.
Lupin the Third is a fantastic series. Any version of it.
Yeah, I have to check it because I've watched one or two of the movies and I started to watch the episodes, but then I realized I have to find the very original, the very first series, and it's so dopey compared to the later stuff. But it's like I have to start at the beginning because I want to see the progression. So I have to find a site that has the original stuff. Let's see, Devilman Run.
I believe it's actually being released by what is it? I can't remember the name of the company, but they've been releasing a lot of old school anime, and I think they're releasing Lupin here pretty soon.
I think they released Golden Boy.
Yeah, they did. I'm just trying to remember the name of the company.
Okay, so I have Devil May Run, but it's pulling up the same. Let's see.
No, Devil Man Run.
That's
not Devil May Run.
That's what I put. Devil Man Run.
And
try devilmanrun.gif.
Dot what?
GIF.
Okay. Ooh, that's kind of gross.
This is gonna sound like such a really stupid question because I know I've heard this word before, but I don't remember its name.
What? What?
What the hell is yaoi?
Yaoi is gay anime porn.
Yaoi is guy dating guy. Yuri is girl on girl. And it's not necessarily porn. It just means that the comic is about a same-sex relationship. Yuri is girl, yaoi is guy. I'm not into that shit. I watch anime, so
I mean, in fairness, all anime is gay, so.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Says the guy who watches Gundam.
The guy who watches Gundam, because Gundam's pretty gay.
Yeah.
That's a universal century. That's super gay.
Oh yeah, what was your favorite?
G Gundam.
Yeah, of course, which is uber gay.
Oh, absolutely. Matter of fact, they give the reach around.
Okay, guys.
They call it the shining finger for a reason.
Okay, guys. I've seen some anime. Both my sisters really love anime, but the only anime I've actually liked is because of the stereotypes. You can laugh. It's Hetalia.
No.
I think it's how you pronounce it.
You are voting. Ban.
Hey, the stereotypes are so.
Here, I'll just send you the link. Since you're having trouble here. There you go.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I used to like Hentai, but I can't watch it anymore. It's kind of annoying.
Well, it's just a GIF, so.
No. I'm talking. Oh, okay. No, I'm talking about Hetalia. That's what I'm referring to.
I like Hetalia because I'm a history nut. That's literally the only reason.
Exactly. That's the only reason for me.
I hate Hetalia. I hate it with a burning passion.
I can't watch it anymore.
Why?
I can't watch it anymore. It's just
because
like,
when you have a whole bunch of people that have given their lives due to war, turning the entire content into a bunch of schoolboys, I find it could be completely morally demeaning.
Oh, you should see what they did with battleships.
That and a lot of the weird ass fan service, and it's for me now. It's irritating to listen to. I used to be able to watch it, but
Italy is absolutely 100% fuck. I think we can agree on that.
And then who is?
They actually got them right.
Ukraine. Ukraine has a sister, a very
Let me guess. It's Belarus, isn't it?
Very lusty sister that tries to violate.
Was it Belarus or was it?
I don't know, but she tries to violate one of the guys constantly, and they're constantly having to run away from her and slam the door in their face. I don't remember
that episode.
It was messed up, but
I'm sure it'll be your favorite.
But yeah, Hetalia is irritating for me to listen. I can't sit down and watch it anymore. It's just like, nope, I'm gonna take a knife to my ear.
Why don't you degenerates watch some good old school anime instead of this nonsense?
I started to check out Lupin. I like Big O. I've seen all the episodes of Big O.
I'm not even a big anime fan in general.
Neither am I, but I'll poke around, and sometimes hubby will show me some stuff. But I do like some.
Y'all need to watch Gao Gagars, which y'all need to watch.
I prefer my shows Western. Thank you.
Step, you're grounded.
Oh, for how long?
I know this is like anime heresy, but I prefer my movies in English.
Well, I prefer my movies in English too, because I don't have time to read. If I wanted to read, I'd get a book.
I actually read dubs sometimes, just because or subs. Sorry.
No, I want you to sit there and tell me you read dubs. I want to embarrass you.
Okay, the only movie I've ever seen that I actually liked that was in all captions, it was in Russian, Black Lightning. But anime that is...
I think I watched that once.
Anime that is all in Japanese and you have to read it the whole time, I'm sorry guys, it drives me nuts.
Short drive.
Hey, real funny.
Took you long enough to get there.
Dubs can be funny. Dubs can be funny to listen to sometimes.
Yes, like Ghost Stories. Ghost Stories is an excellent dub where they just went ham on everything and didn't pay attention to the script.
I
That's not
will.
it.
My kind of
they,
anime.
They rewrote the script.
Like I said, they ignored the script. That's how you rewrite your own script.
I reject your script and substitute my own.
Literally the same thing happened with Samurai Pizza Cats.
Huh?
Samurai Pizza Cats.
And Robotech.
Hold on, shut up. I'm looking this up.
Well, Robotech was less of a we're going to do this because we don't know what we're doing, and more of a we're going to intentionally do this, and then we're going to sit on the rights.
Pizza Cats.
Yeah.
And in Samurai Pizza Cats, they do regularly take shots at the Ninja Turtles.
It sounds like it.
They look like some weird cross with Power Rangers in what else?
Yeah, because guess who owns the rights?
I just looked it up, dude. I have no idea.
What style is that?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Wait, what studio did you say owns it?
Okay, Saban owns the American rights to Samurai Pizza Cats. In Japan, it's known as Kyoto Tenden or something like that. It's more serious in Japan, whereas here in the West, it's just a giant joke show. And they're actually really clever about how they pull things off here. Even for the intro that they did, the person who sang it had a hangover at the time, so he was not in a good mood. The show constantly there is no fourth wall. The fourth wall's gone. It does not exist. The name of the villain is the Big Cheese. He's actually a fox, but they call him a rat for reasons. He's a cross-dresser, very effeminate, and his sidekick in this is an old ninja crow whose name is, and I quote, Geriatric.
Okay. What style is this? Is this the same studio that does Dragon Slayer?
No.
I hate that shit, by the way. I saw a few episodes at a convention, and I just know I almost got crucified. I almost got crucified when I interviewed Gothic Sushi's like, I don't like Dragon Slayer. It's fucking annoying as shit.
Wait a minute, Chambers.
Father, forgive them. So
and no, the studio that made the original show was actually Tatsunoko Productions. You'd know them for stuff like Speed Racer, the original Gatchaman.
Oh, I love Speed Racer.
Okay, because I'm trying to figure where have I seen this style? Yes.
Oh.
Did you just really ask if Speed Racer was an anime?
I haven't watched it in forever.
Dude,
yeah, it's an anime.
Okay.
Somebody needs to put him in the trunk of the Mach 5 and then throw it over a cliff.
Yeah.
But
did you see that really shitty spin-off show where what was it, Speed Racer's son?
Yes, and matter of fact, the reason why we did not get a decent animated Gatchaman movie here is because Speed Racer bombed in sales for the movie they did years ago, I'm still angry.
The movie was very entertaining.
They actually had a decent trailer up on YouTube for a while.
Oh,
yes.
Gatchaman.
The Speed
Yes,
Racer
they did.
live
They have
action?
2 of them, and both of them are really good, but the project got canceled over a decade ago. And I know this because the person who did the concept designs and the storyboard and the animation direction for that is Daniel Norton, the same guy who was the art director for the 2011 Thundercats series.
Which was actually really good, by the way.
Nah, I could take it or leave it. It wasn't very good in my opinion.
Live action Speed Racer movie.
I kept hearing from people that it had potential, but because there wasn't enough fan hype for it, or they purposely killed it. Was it on Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network?
It was on Cartoon Network, and the series was killed intentionally by the show. But here's the problem, all right? The head writer for the series is Michael Jelinek. Do you know what he works on right now?
No.
Teen Titans Go.
Oh.
Now, I want to be very clear here. One of the biggest problems with the property of Thundercats is that so many people that have gone through and worked on it ever since the original series, none of the original staff has ever come back to it, mostly because most of them are dead. But anybody who's gotten a hold of the property after that likes the idea of Thundercats, but doesn't actually like Thundercats. So what they did in the 2011 series is they dicked with the mythos. They didn't stick to the original concept designs. They didn't stick to the original storylines. They turned it into a bunch of grim, dark nonsense. Does anybody here know what was going to happen in the second season?
No.
Here's what was going to happen in the second season.
Bullshit.
In Thundercats, the second season of 2011 series. This was leaked in an interview with Daniel Norton. Here's what was going to happen. Slythe was going to cut off Linkso's head and eat him. Pumairo was going to get turned into a giant mantis monster, and Tigra would have to kill her, which would cause a bigger rift between Lion-O and Tigra. And a whole bunch of other grimdark nonsense. Because for some reason, when these idiots get a hold of Thundercats, they decide they're going to try to turn into edgy teenager nonsense, and they don't understand that's not what Thundercats is like.
Nice.
Shut up, Step.
All right.
Dude,
I have my.
That sounds like what they did with Star Trek when they created the Kelvin timeline.
I would not know because I don't watch Star Trek because I'm the nerd that puts other people in lockers. I'm not the nerd that gets shoved in the lockers.
Oh, screw you.
Trekkies forever,
no,
man.
you're not my type. I'm a married man. How dare you?
No, okay, I'm not a. By the way,
Oh,
I'm not
he's
a Trekkie.
trying to
I'm
say
a
he's trying to
Trekker.
say you're homosexual there, buddy.
I mean, he did come on to me.
What? What, Miss Steam?
How long of a stream we got left?
Well,
it's 10 a.m. It's 10 a.m.
we
That's
can.
her way of saying I want out. I want out now.
Well, Steam, if you want to go, you don't have to stay. I mean, we're just kind of like shooting the shit. So.
I mean, this was supposed to be a chill stream after.
So.
I am better in small doses.
Steam, blink twice if you need help.
I think she's really
kind
trying
of
to hold
falling.
back from ripping.
No, if you need to go, Miss Steam, you can go. You don't have to stay. Do appreciate you coming on and hanging out.
Fight me IRL.
Okay. I was just falling asleep, so.
No, you're fine.
Go.
All right. Well, I'm gonna
Okay.
I'm gonna hop off for a little bit too because
All
my
right.
wife is home and I'd like to
Bye,
say hi.
Leo.
Okay.
Later, guys.
All right.
Just real quick before I go, thank you for having me on, Chambers. Gundoge, get better taste in anime. Falcon, get better taste in fiction. Step, you're grounded.
Well, for how long?
Screw you two.
You need to come back to Earth, motherfucker. Stop hanging out in space. Lose your fucking head.
What?
I don't know.
He's gone. But whatever grounded means, I'm sure it refers to something in the barrel. Means you're in trouble, Step.
Honestly, for a second there, I thought he was making an airplane reference because of my avatar.
I love that fucking movie.
Which movie?
Wait, Airplane, the live action Airplane, right? With what was it? Who was in Airplane?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I was referencing my avatar.
Oh. I thought you were talking about the movie Airplane.
No, I actually recently currently I'm kind of fighting with my dad, so I decided to be a little childish. I took the left magneto off the engine. It's also the one that has the impulse coupling. So
your dad's gonna fucking die.
No, he doesn't fly the thing right now. It hasn't flown in like 3 years.
Is that the one you're supposed to stick the image on?
Yeah, I've got to get it reprinted.
Yeah, it looked a little bit dark. It looked like somebody turned up the contrast on that way too much, or the printer settings.
No, you're actually looking through paper when I sent that picture. Did I send you the one with the
who was that guy we were just talking to?
It was Leo Convoy, and then the other one was Miss Steam.
He sells Thundercats and Thundercats accessories.
Okay, Hank.
Boy. That boy ain't right.
But yeah, don't take stuff from your dad's plane.
Speaking of the right, did you see the Sargon BBC interview?
I keep hearing about it, and I'm hearing two perspectives of how Sargon was a total fool and couldn't answer the questions, and then I've heard another perspective on how Sargon supposedly owned the interviewer.
The former is true. The former is absolutely. Sargon's brain is so smooth that if you were to hit him with a beam of facts and logic, it would bounce right back at you. Holy shit!
Wow. But yeah, I've said this to a couple people. He is not, in my opinion, just from what I've seen in him, because he was part of the freaking Crown Tea stuff. He knew what was going on. There was evidence of that. And then he had his dumb with the IBS shit and freaking 8chan. Go ahead.
I would rather have Paul Joseph Watson as Prime Minister. Jesus Christ. Sargon is just an idiot. All he had to... Look, okay, I'll give you an example of something that happened during the interview. The woman who was interviewing him kept asking him, why make a rape joke? He couldn't even give a specific answer to the question. He was like, well, with my mates, we make a lot... But why rape? Well, we enjoy expressing our freedom of speech, and why make a rape joke? All he had to do was say, we enjoy very dark humor.
Yeah,
the rape
no.
joke is part of dark humor. He can't even answer simple fucking questions. One more thing. I'll let you finish. But one more thing. One of the things Sargon said during that interview just completely baffled my brain. I think the interviewer asked something along the lines of, "You're doing very bad in the polls," and Sargon responded with, "Well, Trump was doing bad in the polls. First of all, you will never, ever be as popular as Trump. Second of all, the political views of America and the UK are different in many ways. You're seen as a joke in both countries compared to Trump, and you're never going to be as popular as Trump."
Using Trump as an example for, Trump was unpopular in the polls. No, he fucking wasn't. The media was bought and paid for. Here's the thing.
You know, back then people had to lie their fucking asses off.
What?
Yeah. People had to lie their asses off to keep their job.
Step, quit it with the rapper.
Sorry. I'm unboxing cards because I'm a faggot.
Thank you.
Oh my god, Step, shut the fuck
Dude,
up.
we don't need any ASMR here.
Yeah, no.
Sorry about that.
I got a bunch of actual professionals to watch if I want to watch ASMR. Thank you.
Sorry.
Here's the thing. Sargon using that as a comparison is just stupid. First off, Trump he was a billionaire that he was a billionaire, had multiple companies, he had a few bankruptcies, but he bounced back. He actually contributed to the country, and he actually knew how America needed to be ran, and he saw the problems. Do I think the guy's perfect? No. Sometimes he needs to hold his tongue? Yes. When it comes to Sargon, his freaking shenanigans. I'll give an example. One that really pissed me off, people don't agree, I don't give a shit. I actually went in and listened to the freaking interview with John Cote, and Dave Rubin. In the first 10 to 13 minutes, Jack Cote explains the rules of Patreon, and because of Sargon's little shit fit, he has made that fucking platform unstable. Because the situation was explained perfectly, Patreon did not like the way he phrased something. The words he used, and his excuse was, well, I just threw their own behavior back at them. No, dipshit. If you actually want to have people correct their own behavior, yes, I understand giving somebody a taste of their own medicine, like, did you see now the effects? But, as it said, I know this is cliche, call it cheese, call it whatever. Be the change you want to be. So, if you're debating the alt-right, which I think are cringy as hell, by the way, and are just, I've had my bump-ins with them, and they're just fucking retarded.
White is right?
Huh?
I said white is right. Continue.
You see, the alt-right, I've bumped in them in several places, and it's like, you're stupid.
To talk to Shelly D.
Oh no, he's in my server, but my family's mixed, so you're not ever going to be able to tell me, oh well, we need to have more white this, white that. It's like, hey, stupid. Our entire culture is a mix about our food, our clothing, our architecture, our fucking music, our art styles are all mixed from different
we used to favor
countries.
European immigration. Till we
Exactly. Before 1965, we did very, very heavily favor European immigration.
Which I do support we go back to. Absolutely.
Before World War I, there were many parts of this country where if you couldn't speak German, you were in a real bad situation.
Right. And of course, when World War I.
But anyway,
exactly, it was so stigmatized.
To get to my point, if you're going to debate someone like the alt-right, actually do so with facts and not just repeating the same dumb shit that they say. I mean, you're not going to get anywhere. Yeah, they're fucking cringy as shit. They don't listen. They believe that they're like the ultimate race or whatever, and it's just fucking stupid. They're stupid. But at the same time, Patreon asked Sargon, hey, can you apologize for the way that you said this? It wasn't what he said. And not his message, but it was the way that he said it. And I'm not going to repeat it because I don't want to get struck. But
just say R word.
Well, he pretty much called them a bunch of the N-word. But and Paige is like, that's not okay. Can you apologize for the way you phrased that? And he said no, and he goes, well, that impairs my freedom of speech, blah, blah, blah. Because he put out, because even Magog of Morscar left Patreon. I refuse to follow anybody to subscribe star. It's just like, no, this is stupid. But anyway, Sargon had put out, Patreon terminated my account without any word, and then word got around. It's like, no, we had a chance for you to fix your mistake, for you to apologize and go, hey, can you rectify this? It wasn't what you said, it was how you said it.
How is apologizing and denying your freedom of speech?
Because Sargon has a fucking ego. That's why.
I know that, but how...
I'm telling you. And I used to like the guy with the Kekistani stuff. Used to be popular, and as soon as here's what ticks me off about the entire, because there's a group of people that act this way. When something bad happens with something that they associate with, everybody goes on a purge thing. Everybody purges everything. Everybody turns around and starts mocking it, like with the Kekistani stuff, because it was real popular. You had a channel that was like doing like wars against Anita Sarkeesian, Magalia Morskar was starting to do work with the Kekistani Press channel, big channel, doing voiceovers and like even artwork and shit like that. But as soon as the Kekistani killer happened, it's because this 14-year-old had a flag on his Facebook. All the including the skeptic community, went on a fucking purge spree. Brittany Venti, I don't like her. I've seen one video by her where she tore June a new one. That one was actually a good video, just because of like what she went down into. But Brittany Venti was a perfect example as I walked in on a stream with her, Andy Worski. Oh God, who else was on there? A few others, and she was going like, "Oh, this is so cringy. Oh, you guys like Kekistani? Oh, I'm doing this on your friends." It's like, shut the fuck up. Be quiet, Sid. Go away. And so they turn around and they contradict themselves. Anything that makes them look bad, they will throw underneath the carpet, they won't deal with, and Sargon is the worst offender because he has yet to deal with any of his shit. He tries to brush underneath the rug. I actually spoke with somebody who used to work with Sargon. I guess Sargon has like a system of people, and anything that Sargon didn't want to deal with or made him look bad got shoved down the pipeline. No joke. And it's just like, Sargon, you cannot do that. So when he goes into politics with the same attitude he's had in regards to dealing with 8chan and owning the libs, you're gonna fail. He looks like a fucking clown right now. He needs to... God. I never claimed to be a skeptic. People kept asking me, is Chambers a skeptic? No, fuck no. I just watched some of them. Don't anymore. Sorry, little rant, but that's just an example of... It's a whole lot of dumb. Certain people do not belong in politics. Internet shenanigans does not belong in politics.
Yes, and crud. The one thing that was always stuck out with to me with Sargon is
I gotta go.
When he screws up.
Nope, that's fine. Thanks for coming on, Falcon.
He screwed up.
Oh no, it was Gundog. I apologize. Both of you have kind of low mics. No, you're fine.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, I should have shut up.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
Okay. The thing that always really irritated me about Sargon is he'll never admit when he's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always seen, now my father never talked about masculinity at all, what it means to be a man. He could tell you about how an engine works and teach you. He's a horrible teacher at everything, but he could, if you actually could learn from his teaching, he could actually teach you how to rebuild a big 18-cylinder radial engine or your car from to the last bolt. But I've had to do a lot of reading. To me, a true man will admit when he's wrong.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, definitely. I know another example. This is a situation, because I went in and I talked to a bunch of his fans. His fans were fine. Like, I'm not shitting on his fans, but another person that I've noticed that does not apologize for his mistake, and we're not here to shit on anybody, this is just an example, because I've had this conversation. Tommy STVP, or Tommy C, whatever name he goes by. Tommy C. There's a situation that broke out between him and another YouTuber. Won't name the YouTuber, I just don't want to rehash all shit. Anyway, me and one other person go into a server because we know what happened. And so we talk about how it's like, hey, you know what, he needs to take back what he said because this is bullshit. Here's the proof, blah, 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 blah. We proved our case. However, we got told by his own fans, and I don't know if things have changed. I don't watch his stuff. I haven't been in his server for like going to 2 years now. But at that time, when we were in there, his fans literally came out and said he has too much pride to apologize. He will not apologize because to his fans, it makes him look weak. I'm like, that is fucking stupid. That is stupid. Everybody has their ego. I have my own ego. But if you cannot look at what you've done wrong, and granted, it is depending on how bad you fucked up and depending on what the situation is and how many eyes are on the situation, it can be difficult and it can be fucking embarrassing. I've had some real fuck ups. I almost had one the other night. Because I got some accounts mixed up. Oops. But it was quickly resolved going, oh, I like my stupid. I was multitasking and looking at several stuff at the same time. Don't ever do that. But yes, it's very important to take care of your mistakes. I mean, but Sargon, again, and I don't want to shit on the guy. I know him as a content creator. I know him as a YouTube. I don't know him as a person outside of that. But I don't like the content creator. I don't like the LARPing as politician.
The fact that Sargon even got as far as he did is bad to me.
Exactly.
He was a figure of Gamergate, and then from what he started to tack onto the anti-SJW stuff. He touched a little bit on the atheist stuff, because he was considered, I don't know if he's considered anymore, he was considered a head of the skeptics for quite a few years, because like, what was it? I started to like discover the anti-SJWs. It was after Gamergate. I came in to the anti-SJW community at the tail end where Gamergate literally just got finished passing. Because I was catching little articles by Kotaku how certain journalists had pretty much slept their way through the ranks, and I caught the tail end of it, wasn't quite sure what was going on. That was also when Channel Awesome had its blow up, like, I think a year later. I came on the tail end of a lot of stuff going on. Didn't follow it because it was way over my head, and I came from an entirely different community. Sargon, though, name kept coming up. And so he's been the head for a while, but now, all that's gone to his head. When the apocalypse happened, a lot of people changed. The Candid stuff broke out. A lot of people changed from that. Oh, well, we're pushing this. Do you even know what the fuck it is? You guys have signed a disparagement clause, meaning you can't talk shit about it, even though here's the proof coming out about it. It became a site for some very bad shit, and then it was training in AI, which is now integrated into YouTube. Harmful opinions. Harmful opinions. Started to fucking warn everybody. Had his channel terminated, purged. He did get the channel back, but he had family members. People were going after his family members because that's how bad it was. Skeptics, including Sargon, didn't do jack shit. It was already too late. It's like, thanks, guys. The AI is because of you fuckers. So, and that is a fact. The freaking AI bot, one of the major ones that YouTube has, is from Candid. I'm not kidding.
Wonderful.
Oh, yeah, because this was a big thing. Bearing, his first name got doxxed by the CEO because he had an interview. If you guys know who Bearing TV is, he's the husband of Sugar Tits.
Oh, they got married?
Yeah, no, they've been married, dude. They've had kids. But
I didn't know.
He did an interview with the CEO of Candid, and he was asking all these questions because, like, he was pushing it, but then he turned around and he got into some trouble with his contract because he goes, oh, what the hell is this? And he did a CEO, and he started to go against the disparagement clause. So, but yeah, a lot of people didn't. Amazing Atheist didn't, Armored Skeptic didn't, Sargon sure as shit didn't. There's only one person, because he stopped pushing it, he kind of went quiet. Another person that did push it was Undoomed. Now, Undoomed, when stuff had came out about it, he didn't come out against it, but he shut up. He stopped talking about it. And I have a lot of respect for Undoomed. I like his content. Actually, I haven't seen some of his stuff for a while. He's a professional video producer, so he pops out stuff every now and then. But he's the only one, him and Baron, are the only two that I can go, you know what, you guys are fine. And also Harmful Opinions, and then Johnny Fox was another game gator that, so, It just, like I said, Sarian came from that entire group that just went, oh well, it makes us look bad, we don't care, shove it underneath the rug. So, it's the politics in UK right now is a total clown show. It's just a full-on circus at this point.
I don't know how you guys see history, but personally, when I look at the history of the 20th century, right before everything blows up, metaphorically, things really get violent. Some really, really, really crazy stuff happens. Basically, politicians or whoever start going crazy.
It was World War I's fault.
What?
It was World War I's fault.
I didn't hear that.
I said it was World War I's fault.
Oh. Yeah, but yeah, right before people die, the political class goes nuts.
Yeah, the U.S. had what you would call growing pains.
Part of that was Wilson's fault, too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we started to expand in places that some people, looking back at history, feel like we never should or shouldn't have. We have our own dark history. Every country does. You can't go back and change things. Like, there's a big squawk when it comes to, like, the immigration stuff. People are like, well, why don't you guys give Texas back to Mexico? Yeah, it's technically their land. Mexico said we don't give a fuck for it. We don't care because they lost it in the American-Mexican War, and America pretty much showed Mexico,
Mexico was already having a hard time governing.
Huh?
Mexico was already poor at the time and was having a hard time governing.
Yeah, I've read snippets of the American-Mexican War. I didn't know about it until I came across like a Facebook post, and I looked at it and I'm like going, huh, that's why people keep saying this. So interesting stuff. But anyway, I do think I'm going to cut off the stream here. I think it's pretty much dead. I do appreciate you guys coming on. We don't do a lot of these shoot the shit streams, so this was fun. I hope everybody had fun. Just to talk about whatever. It's very therapeutic.
Oh yeah, I had fun.
Well, yeah.
Is it done?
No, we're
just curious. What?
What are you trying to say?
Oh, I was like, I thought you had already ended it.
No,
I was gonna ask.
Oh yeah, hold on. Let me cut to the end card.
Yep.
You guys have a good night. Once again, because we did play her YouTube video, Ponder Sprocket, as she's known as YouTube, or Empty Brook, as she's known as Facebook and Twitter. Her stuff is in the description below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. And I will, because of stuff going on, and I know a lot of people are telling me I need to chill out more, I will try to do more of these type of streams. These streams are a little bit difficult to do, though, because you need, again, the number of people, and you need to have, like, people who know how to carry on a conversation. But I will try to do more of these, because these are relaxing, and hopefully they're enjoyable for you guys. But with that, we'll see you guys on the next one, and you guys have a good night.